now I'll hit the record button. Okay, so we are all at your disposal. What would you like to learn about today?
Wow, this is a lot of pressure.
It's all you. It's 3-on-1 or 3-with-1.
Ryan, is it just you? Oh my goodness.
I think Lakira is about to hop on. She's just
Okay.
going to find a computer. But
That's funny.
this was again, we want to put together people that are experiencing similar challenges, right? And similar successes. So apologies for kind of putting this together at the last minute. I'm glad you're able to be here. We'll continue to try to do this, but while we have it on our calendar, I want to make respect your time. So tell us what are you finding to be either the biggest challenge you're experiencing or the biggest kind of project, so to speak, that it just hasn't gotten done yet, or you're struggling to like kind of really understand it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of projects, but I'm kind of making my way through some of that. I feel like I at least can see some of that. The biggest issue for me is just, I mean, I guess it's a lead gen issue because I just can't, I'm really struggling to find the people that want to buy and sell homes. You know, like I've talked to a lot of people. I've got a lot of great support from people. I feel like I'm going to be good in the future. But right now, I need someone now.
Right. I hear you. I hear you.
And so that's what I got to figure out. And I've kind of gone through a lot of the database. I still have to go through my people that don't live here database. But, you know, I've focused more on the people here and getting all that, you know, all up to speed. You know, I don't know if it's just, I mean, I'm just struggling there. Like, I got to figure out how to find some different sources. You know, and I've got more letters that I want to send out to some other, another neighborhood or two this week, which, you know, so just take some time, and I just need some more like evening time to do a lot of that because it's just repetitive, or addressing envelopes, things like that.
Yeah, but do that off work hours. Work hours are for interacting with prospects.
Right. So I guess that's what I'm just trying to figure out, like, and partly it's maybe I need to figure out how to reach out to a different source. Like, is it using the Vulcan data? And I haven't sat through all that training. I know there's some videos there on how to use that.
Right.
Or like where, I mean, a lot of the neighborhoods that are near me, you can't, you know, they have no soliciting things. And I know some people have tried door knocking, have gotten in trouble. Like, that's just not going to be the way to go, I don't think, unless it could be around an open house, and then it's a little different, you know, but there's no open houses near me, you know.
That's true. That's true. So how big is your database right now?
There's about 450 or so people.
450?
Yeah.
And these are locals, or some of those?
That's both. So, but probably 250 or at least are here. Okay.
So 200, and you have you spoken with all 250 people since you started?
I have at least emailed them. Like, I've touched base in some way. Like, they all should know that I'm in real estate. Somehow I haven't actually gotten on the phone.
Okay, so I'm going to give everyone a chance to help Ryan here, but I'll start off by giving you a couple thoughts. The first is I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but email is not going to be particularly successful. Right?
No, that was more just like because I want to set them up on other plans, and I wanted them to see an email coming from me from that account, so that like it wouldn't be like, what is this?
No, 100%. Everything you do,
have that information basically, but
everything you do will work, right? If you do it, it will work. If you don't do it, it's not going to work, right? But I think you're going to have the most success by getting on the phone with each of those people that already know that you're a person of integrity, that already know that you are kind and professional and you know, friendly, and you're fun to be around, and you take your work seriously, and have a conversation with each of those people and check in on them. It's not about you. Check in on them for their, how their family is, health-wise, career-wise, home-wise, school-wise, whatever is on their mind. You want to gather some information about what they're dealing with now, right, or what's unique to their particular situation. When you are just coming from contribution and asking, very open-ended questions, they're going to start talking about things that are relevant to them. And that might allow you to offer some assistance. Some of it may be real estate related, some of it may not be. But I think that each of those people should ultimately hear from you, your voice, how important you are to the success of your business, right? We think that if you have a database of 250 people, you should probably have around 17, 18 closings or something from that, just pursuing that, right? So the quality, and what I mean quality, some of what I mean is how good the lead is, right? And some of it I mean how urgent the lead is, right? The quality is going to show up in the quantity, right? So if you have more conversations with those that you know, and you are looking for ways that you can help them solve something they're struggling with, right? Like you've heard me say, we're basically well-paid concierges, right? Really well-paid concierges. You
Well,
kind of
right
have
now,
that.
concierge.
What's that?
Right now, I'm an unpaid concierge.
Well, it's coming. It's coming, right? I would have more personalized one-on-one conversations, or you call these people and maybe you say, hey, my goal is to have coffee with one person in my database every single day, right? And let them see how much fun you're having and how much you're learning and how much you know about the market and what kind of, the fact that you're fun to be around, and ask them some genuine questions about what they're experiencing. I think that the letters are great. However, it's got a little bit of an incubation time sometimes. So my advice is, we seem to be getting away from the phone. And I think that's exactly where the magic is. I think the way that you're going to keep your people off the internet, like off Zillow and off Redfin, where they get diverted to some other agent, the way you're going to keep them off of that is when you build the relationship such that they would never consider making a real estate decision without speaking to you first. You need to make sure that they understand that crystal clear. Pam and Candace, what do you think?
So my most effective lead gen is my database, but also video texting to my database. It's a lot more personal. And I call them, but if I can't get them on the phone, then I will do a video text, because it's much more personal than leaving a voicemail. And it people see your face and it's like, oh, I need to call her, and then they'll call back. So that's working for me really well right now with my database. I am also sending out letters each month. I haven't done it this month, which I need to do, but I'm also sending out letters each month. But that's primarily your database is your gold mine. And I know Sam, I think today or yesterday, was teaching. It'll be in Command with Sam Jackson. Database to data bank is the name of the class.
I think they're doing that right now.
Yeah, so it'll be recorded and it'll be in his YouTube channel. And I always just search In Command with Sam Jackson, and his Sam Jackson's YouTube channel comes up.
Okay.
So
right. One phrase that you can kind of have in the back of your mind is, like, if you own a home right now, one of two things should be happening. Either you should sell it or you should refinance it, right? So if you're speaking to anybody that that is a homeowner, you might say, hey, I don't know if you're aware, but there is an incredible shortage of property out there right now. It's an incredibly strong seller's market. When was the last time you thought about selling? You might be able to get more for your home than you ever imagined. And they're like, no, Ryan, we love living here. The kids are still in school. Okay, well, I've been working with a number of agents in my office have helped their homeowners, their clients, save hundreds of dollars a month by simply refinancing. Have you looked into that? Is that something I can help you with? Right. So you're looking for again, you're basically looking for challenges that they're facing, and then you're trying to figure out how you can solve those challenges using your tools and your resources and your network.
Mhm.
What would you say, Pam?
Well, I mean, yeah, and maybe have you been doing any open houses?
I've done a couple, and I like the open houses. Like I do much better when I can talk to people face to face. I think that
Yeah.
that's a great way to do it. But, that's, and I like to do the open houses. It's just, you kind of at the mercy of if someone has one or, other things that go um, on weekends, that come
Right.
up. No, I
Right.
think that's
But
good. I got, I have some leads from one I did a few weeks ago, but most of them ended up, they're from out of state and they already had someone they're working with or, one thing or another, but there's still a couple that are hanging out there.
right. And you just have to keep, nurturing them. What will happen is all of a sudden you'll have more business than you're going like, I'm going crazy with this much,
Yep.
And that happens a lot that you if you get in a lull and you start doing things to try to promote yourself. I mean, maybe finding an agent who would let you advertise their listing and running a Facebook ad on that might be another idea.
Right. Or taking an agent's listing and say, hey, can I do a video tour from inside? Right. Hey, this is one of our new listings. You're saying it a little vaguely, our as in Keller Williams Roswell. That's acceptable. Right. Our new listings, like, come and check this backyard out. Oh my gosh, look at this kitchen renovation. Right. Anyone have any questions about this home? What do you think it's priced at? Right. And get some interaction. Oh, $750. Oh, $650. Oh, $450. Oh my gosh, this home's available for $500,000, whatever, right? You're basically just trying to get some interaction. Social media, I mean, that's where the eyes are right now. I would make sure that you have, complete profiles and, start to connect or reconnect with those that are in your networks. And, they're going to naturally want to support you. You just got to get it in front of their face.
Yeah, no, and everyone I've talked to has been very supportive, and most people, they say, oh my God, you're going to be great at this. But I got nothing.
And I
Right.
promise you, Ryan, just like when I go home and I am involved in my life, I don't think about other people that are in real estate. I mean, I don't think about different vendors. So we have to stay top of mind. And that's why that 36 touch is just so important. And I actually had prepared to teach a workshop on that, on how to set up your you can set up one smart plan for the 36 touch, and it's got the different elements of the smart plans in it. But I think that's one of the ways that we stay top of mind with people, because
That's the question too, because I know that there's some things in there and you can do like the bi-weekly neighborhood, all those types of things, but like, where else can you get decent content for a newsletter? Like, I mean, I get a bunch of newsletters from different agents and they have all these things and I'm like, where are they getting all this? Like, is there something that, I mean, just curious.
For a long time, I used a product called Keeping Current Matters.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping Current Matters. They've got a lot of cool, like, little infographics and, kind of simple and colorful type little things. I know this sounds crazy, but I think I would probably just Google real estate newsletter content, right? I mean,
And and a lot of it they want you to pay for, or something, or I can't figure out how to get it all into the one newsletter, or or the people that are sending them are coming from different places. I just didn't know if there's a way to get some of that even into command, or if you have to do it differently.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, Keeping Current Matters is very reasonably priced because it's only like $20 a month or something like that.
Right.
Mhm.
And you can create a lot of the content, like you were showing us yesterday at the meeting, like, hey, you got this Chartmaster slide or this portion of a Chartmaster slide, and you put it out on Facebook and you give like a 10-second, hey, wanted to share some, hot off the presses. This is some new data from what's going on in our local market. As you can see from this graph, that the number of homes available in the marketplace is down 61% since last year. oh my gosh, what an opportunity for sellers. Who do you know that is experiencing a major life change that I might be able to get some information to about how to successfully sell in this marketplace, right? So it's just putting out a bunch of like stuff, right? You can teach them about a loan product, or you can teach them about a VA loan, or you can teach them about a portion of the transaction or something like that, right?
Right.
You could introduce a vendor like, hey, this is a so-and-so from the home inspection company, right? He started this company 25 years ago, right? And he works out of Roswell and Woodstock. And, one of the most common things that he finds is this, here's how you recognize if you've got a roof leak. Or it's just like, it's just random stuff that might catch the right person at the right time. What we were talking about is just helping Ryan and hopefully you guys with some just some ideas to generate both content and interaction with your database, and try to increase the urgency with which your buyers and sellers want to behave, right?
And Bill, I was just talking about this, and I'm on so many meetings now, I can't remember, but I want to do a workshop where we develop content for like 12 to 15 posts a month. And I want us to develop content. We're not all going to reach the same people. It doesn't matter if it's similar. But a lot of times what I do is I'll have a question in my mind, like, how could I reach home sellers? Well, one of the things that's important to home sellers is how to increase value. So I'll just search how to increase your home value in Georgia before selling. Oh my goodness, you'll get 15 million things that you can look at and compile some bullet points from. And then with a call to action, I also just Googled I just Googled best real estate blogs of 2021. Bill, will you let me share my screen?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Okay. And this is what came up. This is one of the things that came up. 52 real estate blog ideas to publish once a week. Blog about events you've attended. I mean, so the ideas are here, and it's just a matter of, there's just so much out on the internet now that we don't have to invent anything really. We just tweak it and make it ours.
Right. I love I got a bunch of ideas that I didn't do because I just didn't do it. But I like the idea of getting people together on like a Facebook Live, let's say, who are other neighbors, other business owners or other professionals in the general marketplace, that you can do some cross exposure. So let's say you have a coffee shop, right? And you get into relationship with them and you say, hey, I just wanted to, I love Thousand Hills coffee. My favorite coffee is the mocha. And, I thought it was, I love this place so much that I just wanted to introduce you guys to the owner. This is Mark, right? Mark bought this company, 12 years ago, and this is his mission. And I'm going to be hosting a thing this Friday where if you come to this coffee shop on Friday and sit with me and hang out with me, I'll buy your first cup of coffee, right? And then you tag, everyone involved, and there's cross exposure, right? So you go and support, other people's businesses. They will go out of their way to support yours, right? All right, we got a couple more minutes. We're gonna Trent and Lakira, is there anything that you have been dying to ask that you are just dying to know about? What is on your mind today? Trent, I got to tell you, you are the sharpest dressed PC client, I think.
Jeez.
Man.
Nancy Saylor's going to have to look out.
I'm going to have to take it to the next level, man.
Majority of my questions currently are in the realm of like real estate investing and just my own personal, wealth building plan. I think I'm pretty good on that. I'll ask this: do you have any experience with micro flipping?
Micro flipping?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with that term. What is micro flipping?
It's basically wholesaling.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It's basically wholesaling, but wholesaling, pretty much you take an undervalued property, you buy it and you flip it pretty much immediately within like a week or a very, very short time
Yeah.
frame,
So that's
and just make
wholesaling.
a quick profit off of it.
Yeah. So that's wholesaling.
Yeah, it is wholesaling. It's just a different word for it. You're practically, the goal is to wholesale to wholesalers or wholesale to investors. And I mean, yeah, it's wholesaling. It
Yeah.
is.
It's
But
basically
you're
a
doing it at a much smaller
margin.
profit margin, much quicker.
So
Yeah. It's kind of it's like a, what do you call it? It's like a friendly way of saying, don't feel so bad that I'm shirking you on this deal a little bit, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, and I actually have I have an investment coach,
Mhm.
he's a Keller Williams agent out of New Jersey and then Arizona. But one of the things that he taught me is, when you what's really important is if you can if you can find a home, or homes that are potential, even if you don't have them under contract, to start sending out feelers to investors, like go to Bigger Pockets, so that you compile a list of cash buyers. And that those once you have that database, then you can start really finding the properties. And as you find properties, I know sometimes when you list, if you can list, I had a little tear down listing down in Dixie Hills, which is a hot area. I can't tell you how many people added to my cash buyer list just from that. And that was I mean, I think my commission was $1,400, huh? So, but it was $55,000. But the benefit of actually adding to those my cash list was really beneficial.
So that
Yeah.
actually makes me think of one other topic that goes back to what Ryan was saying, which is that's another thing that we can offer, right? So when we're on the phone and we're catching up with our old people, you could say something to the effect of, every once in a while I find some really awesome opportunities in the marketplace. Would you like me to reach out to you? Should I come across something? Is there something that you kind of have your eye on? Is real estate investing something you're curious about, or you want to learn more about? Or if I were to find an opportunity, would you like me to call you on that? You see what I'm saying? And then they say, yeah, Ryan, definitely. Oh, so anything in particular you're looking for? Is there a part of town you want me to have my eye on? Or is there a certain price range or certain metrics or whatever that you want me to have your eye on? And you're basically turned somebody who perhaps didn't even realize that was important to them. Now you've put it top of mind and you've connected yourself with that whole story. Does that make sense?
And
And particularly
I love that, Bill.
if your net worth or your network is a lot of people in some in tennis communities and gated communities and no soliciting communities, and these are $7, $8, $9 million plus type people. They should be investing in real estate, right?
Yeah.
And so just because they own a pretty home and they're happy there doesn't mean that you can't help them, right? They should be considering building wealth in other ways. And in part, it's your responsibility to help them.
And if you're working with the seller and at closing, they walk away with a significant amount of money that they're not going to be using to reinvest in the home they're going to live in, that's when I always bring up the topic of, I would love to talk with you about wealth building and how you could put this money to work for you.
Right. Or
Okay.
I was taught at one point, every single person in your database that owns a house, that the number they threw out was $350,000. But if every single person you have in your database that lives in a home or owns a home that's $350,000 or more should get a call from you and say, I have a present for you. This is the Millionaire Real Estate Investor book. Okay. Let me take you to coffee. It's my gift to you. As my responsibility as your real estate resource, I want to let you know there's a lot of opportunity out there. I'd like to be your point person when and if you get serious about this. And this is just to whet your appetite here. It's a free book.
Love that.
Yeah, that's actually something I've done. My one buyer client, or a few buyer clients actually, I bought them a copy of the Bigger Pockets version of that book, Guide to Real Estate Investing or Starting Real Estate Investing, something of the sort. And that actually something that he brought to every showing, and so it was kind of cool. It was something he remembered me by. But to piggyback off what you were saying earlier about using that as an avenue to get more business, would it be unethical to do that micro flip, get a property, then let's say list it for 10K more and then sell to a buyer client of yours. Would that be unethical at all, or would there be any kind of, what would you have to disclose, and at what point would you have to disclose it that it was your own property?
Well,
Are you talking
anytime
about-
you're
Well, you're the seller, so you own it, so you always have to disclose it.
right, if you're involved in a real
Exactly.
estate transaction as a principal, or if you, let's say, own an LLC or something, then you need to disclose at your first opportunity that you have a real estate license, right? And that you're the owner of the home. If you're asking, is there an integrity issue to secure a home and then sell it for a profit? No, but where I see the biggest risk is it's kind of like the stipulation that Aubrey brought up yesterday during team meeting, which is, and maybe I'm coming from a bit of a limiting belief on this, but if you go and find, like, who's the first person in that micro flipping chain? It's somebody who is in a crappy situation that may or may not have all the information they need to make the decision, and then somebody is essentially stealing their equity, right? So somebody owns a $200,000 home and I come in and I buy it for 150. Now, the question is, yes, I have to disclose that I'm an agent if I were to do that. The question is are you showing the seller that the data supports this home being 200 and I'm just going to pay you 150 for it? So I think that if you're not upfront about that, that's a gigantic problem, because if a few people are going to have their hands in the process from 150 to 160 to 180 to 200, and everyone wants to take a slice, the person number one needs to know that that's going to happen, right? And the truth of the matter is, in my opinion, just list the damn property and you'll have 100 offers and it'll sell for 200. There's no reason why you should sell to me for 150. So if I'm going to be involved in something like that, I'm going to have disclosure after disclosure after disclosure about this. Hey, in my professional opinion, it's worth 200. I shared that with you on this day in this way. You are entering into a contract to sell it to me for 150. You are not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. You fully understand that I am taking your equity, and I'm totally okay with that. And I've got 6 witnesses and the police officer here that just saw it all go down. Personally, I don't want any part of that.
So, and I want to add to that, because like this listing I went on Monday night, they actually were looking for a cash offer. And when I met with them, I presented the cash offer and I said, do you understand how cash offers work? And they said, yes. And then they were like, well, how? And I said, so I've got it broken down for you. I'm going to take the aftermarket value, after ARV, the after renovated value, which will probably be around 550, maybe even a little bit more. And I'm going to subtract 80%, because that's going to be my reno cost. In our in other markets, we subtract 70% because we have to have our offers a little higher right now. Subtract 80. And then on top of that, I subtract out the cost of doing business, the real estate commissions, the closing costs, the carrying costs, utilities, and that kind of thing. So that's how I arrived at this low number. Do you understand that? Then what happened for them is they said, well, we've made an offer in Lake Oconee, but it was contingent on selling this house, so that didn't work. And that's why we want the cash offer. And I said, well, just so you know, the cash offer is, you're going to also have to, once the offer is accepted, if we come to an agreement, then you're also going to have to make a contingent offer, because it's going to take about 2 weeks to close because of the title slowdown right now. And so you're going to have to make an offer that's not contingent upon the sale of your house, but contingent upon the close of your house. That's probably not going to serve you any better in this market. But what I think might serve you is we have a program called Homeward that I can hook your agent that's helping you in Lake Oconee up with. And that way you can go, they'll come in as a cash buyer and buy your home, or buy your new home. And then you can move into your new home and then get this one sold for market value, for retail value. And that way you can have the best of both. So cash offers sometimes work for people who have I've got one right now. He's an older man in his 70s, and this is his mom's house. And he said, I'm tired of driving over to Meridian from Jackson, Mississippi. I want to spend my time doing what I want to do. I'm tired of paying the taxes and utilities. I just want rid of it. So a cash offer for him is a viable thing. But you have to be honorable in those situations, I think. And you always have to be transparent about how you arrive at your number.
Right. And I mean, look, if somebody is in a horrible situation, horrible, okay, if I don't make this payment this month, they're coming to get my home. Just list the home.
Yeah.
You will get exactly what it's worth, probably more. You don't need to sell to some shark, right? That's just not an arena I really want to be involved in. So just to be honest, I think there's too much risk. Hey, you didn't tell me this place is worth 200. I'm going to sue you. Right? I just don't want to play in that world, right? And yeah, you just got to be super careful. You just got to be super careful. If you disclose and you're honest and you're a person of integrity, you can't go wrong.
Right. And very honestly, I don't do wholesaling.
Right. And like, you got to factor in a lot of different things. I mean, you know, those margins are getting really, really, really thin. Like, is it worth it to go and be involved in all that for $2,000 or $5,000? You just have to determine that for yourself. Mm-hmm. Right.
iBuyers have made it a lot more competitive.
Right. But I mean, because that's the thing is iBuyers are paying market value now, if not a little bit above market value. Right. And their intent, I just read an article the other day, basically all these iBuyers, they just want to buy up the America's homes. They don't care about making money. They just want the asset, because when they have enough of the asset, they redefine the market. They redefine the values. They redefine how the market operates, how things are bought and sold, how things are financed, everything. Right. So they just want the inventory, because then they have control. They don't have the inventory, they don't have the control. So they got to get the inventory. So, you know, if I was, if I went on a listing appointment, the home should be selling for 200, and the woman says, well, I just need to get out of here quick. Will you buy it for 150? I say, yeah. And I'll buy it myself right there for 150 after we record the fact that she knows this home's worth 200, and she could probably sell it to somebody on the open market in 20 minutes for 200. And somehow I lucked into this situation. I don't mean to be a downer on that. Maybe I'm open to being talked out of what I'm about to say, but somebody's getting screwed. And I like win-wins. I don't like win-loses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I like winning better than just about anybody, but I'm not going to win so that somebody else can lose. Makes sense?
That definitely wouldn't be my intention at all.
Oh, I know that. It's just it's a tricky business. It's a tricky business. Guys, thank you. This was fun. I hope this was valuable. We did record it, so we'll upload it. And as you know, you don't necessarily have to wait for masterminds or wait to see if a particular class is going to be on the calendar or whatever. If you want something, just speak up. We'll put it on the calendar. We'll teach you what you need to learn, and we'll support you and stand by you as you're building this thing. So I appreciate you guys spending a little time with us today.
Thank you.